Good morning, everybody. You have survived week number 1 of lockdown, at least not week number 1 if you're here in Canada. We are living through unprecedented times, my friend, and I want you to look me in the eye and I want you to hear me very clearly. You're going to survive this. Your business might look a little different on the other end. All of us are having to pivot and make changes. That is normal. What you're experiencing is what other people are experiencing too. I'm committed to coming to you every single morning at 9:30 a.m. to either talk about a topic that I think is relevant for the day or to bring you a guest who is going to help you in some way, shape, or form with your business. My goal is that you start your day with a little element of positivity that's going to have a positive impact somewhere in your business. I had fully planned to talk today all about how to shift into action and how to be proactive instead of being in the reactive state that we've been experiencing for the last week. On my walk this morning, I thought better of it. This morning was the first time that I'd been able to just be alone with my own thoughts and not be having to feed it or overlay my thoughts with maybe podcasts or music or some kind of a distraction to keep me from thinking and feeling what it is that I had going on. And so if I'm feeling that way, I'm sure you're feeling that way too, because we're all in this together. We're all going to be experiencing similar emotions, similar rays of emotions. And, the emotions change minute to minute, moment by moment. It just keeps shifting. You never know what's going to be coming at you. And I think that now is the time that we get to make some really powerful choices for our business. And so I'm going to save my topic of how to shift to being proactive for tomorrow, for Sunday at 9:30. So you're sitting here probably in one of two camps. You might be in the, hey, I'm good. It's all happening. We're good. We got this going on. Business as unusual, which seems to be a new phrase. Thanks, Wendy. You are such a sweetie pie. Your interview yesterday was amazing too. So you're probably sitting there you might be in that, yeah, I got this. Let's just make some moves here camp. I also know that some of you are still sitting in that camp of fear and panic. And the word that I would say we could attach to this is completely stalled. Like you can't move. Your brain's not thinking properly. Things aren't ticking the way that they used to. And that is such a normal reaction when we're in a state of shock. And I don't know how you can't be feeling those feelings when you see what's happening on our planet. Every single individual in our world is going to be affected in some way, shape, or form. I'm not being, I don't want to use a scare tactic. I'm calling the shots the way that I see them. And so today, if you're stuck in that absolute paralysis and you can't move and you're making all your decisions from a place of fear or a place of reaction, then you need to be hearing this today. Tomorrow, I'll talk about getting you back in action. I'm all about stepping through your fear and going and taking small strategic action each and every day and still feeling scared and panicked at the same time. But today I want to talk to those of you that are sitting in that bucket of, oh my God, I think I need to shut my business. I think that's it. I'm going to hell in a handbasket. This isn't going to work. I got to close shop. I got to do this. Nothing's going to be working. Nobody's going to be buying anything. You have a really powerful choice right now to be the author of this next phase of your history. You are at the control panel here. And I want to help you see today what are the things you can control and what that looks like so that it'll benefit you and set you up for success. And maybe start helping you see some things that you're doing that are not going to be supporting you, that are keeping you in that place. Listen, there's no way you can be in tip-top shape 100% of the day, always performing, always on, and not take some time right now to just get your head around what's going on. It's unfathomable. Last week, I spent any of my off time when I was choosing to step out. I chose to step out and I was not able to sit with my own thoughts yet. But I watched this fabulous TV show called Younger. It's on Amazon Prime. I'd never heard of it. I watched the entire 6 seasons back to back to back to back. And it was a show that just allowed me to stop thinking about the crazy and the scared and the fear. And by just stepping out, that allowed me to just anchor down and find some calm so that I could then keep going and step in the next moment. Like I said at the top of this broadcast, this was the first morning that I was able to be alone with my thoughts in 8 days. I went for an hour-long walk this morning. It is brisk and chilly here in Toronto, but it's beautiful. The sun's shining. And I know that that's a scary thing. And what we need to be doing is, number one, I want to talk about choices. Number two, I want to talk about fact versus fiction. And then number three, I just want to make you an invitation. And so when we talk about shifting out of this fear, I think it's absolutely impossible. We cannot not be fearful. But what we can be doing is controlling how we think about that fear and what actions we take on the other side. You absolutely need to take some time out and go and cry your heart out if you need, or go and swing in your hammock and listen to soothing music, or go call someone who makes you feel good, or just go hide in bed and have an extra half-hour nap. You absolutely need to still be doing that and feeling the fear and just acknowledging that there's some panic or some anxiety that's going on. Your business looks different today than it did even yesterday. It's changing minute by minute. When you fuel your decisions from that place of fear, you're going to be making decisions that are not necessarily in your best interest long term. They're going to be a short-term band-aid that are going to help you feel better in this moment. They are not going to serve you 3 to 4 to 5 months down the road, and you'll kick yourself for making those decisions. When you can make a decision from a place of clarity and calm and confidence, and know in your heart that it is still scary, but it is what's going to serve you best, then all of a sudden you're in the long game. So these short-term reactions that you're making are not going to help you. Things like, well, that's it, I'm closing down my business. I'm just going to go on EI for the next 3 months. You don't have to do that. That's a choice. If you need to do that for you, go for it. Absolutely zero judgment here. But do it knowing that if you then want to come back in 3 months and restart your business, you're starting from ground zero. Because even though all we hear about is COVID-19, all we hear about is the crises, all we hear about is all of this shock value news, which most news stations are paid to present in a way to keep you hooked, to keep you in a state of fear so you can't look away, you're not serving your audience. Life is still happening. People are still getting cancer. Babies are still being born. Birthdays are still happening. The reality is our life is still going, but we're only hearing one piece of it. Now listen, don't sit there and slag me and say, well, Sheila said I don't have to watch the news. No, that's not what I'm saying at all. It is your duty to be informed. I'm encouraging you to go to the nucleus of information. Go to the source. That source that people are quoting and people are commenting on, go to that source for your information, but make a choice to feed your brain factual news, not fiction news. So the choice is to go to the nucleus, limit the amount of news that you're watching. Give yourself set news times. Maybe it's 3 times a day, when you wake up, midday, end of day. But to sit there watching these news streams day in, day out, 24/7, it's a killer. You can't get out of that fear part of your brain, which is what's holding you and keeping you paralyzed. We can't make decisions. We can't be clear, confident, and move forward when we're in that place of pure panic. So go to the news source. We can't change the facts here. Coronavirus is spreading. Fact. Ontario schools are closed. Fact. People aren't necessarily buying right now. Fact. But people are still buying. They're buying things that help them feel safe. They're buying things that are going to give them an advantage. They're buying things, come back to my notes here. They're buying things that are going to give them a return. And your business solves a problem for someone whose life is still going on. And so that's where you have to make that choice of, am I going to stay frozen in a state of panic and shut everything down and go into hiding? Or am I going to feel panic and fear and step in and lead my people anyway? Am I going to step in and lead my people anyway? You hold the power here. You hold the power to make choices that are going to serve you and your family in the long term. There's going to be short-term impact, 100%. Don't look at your investment account right now. Don't look at your savings account. It will come back, just not today. That's a fact. We can't change that. But the thing that we can change and we can be controlling now is how we react to that thought, how we react to that fact. How do we react to the fact that maybe your clients are sending you, I can't keep going emails? How do we react to the fact that the bottom just dropped out of your business? How do we react to the fact that you've had to close your brick and mortar? How do we react to the fact that your revenue is drying up in front of you? That is where your power is sitting. And if you choose to freeze and go into inaction, you are not helping yourself in the long term. So when we can identify the fact and attach a thought to it that's going to help us, things like, yeah, my business is pivoting right now, but I'm going to be okay. Or I'm still going to keep going and leading my people because I'm going to choose to be relevant right now, and I'm going to guide them. And I know that that's going to come back to me in spades. It's possible you have to shift what it is that you offer and how you offer it. I don't know how you don't. But it doesn't mean you can't be offering what you do, because life is still happening. Here's what I think we're going to see throughout the next couple weeks. This is just my opinion. Take it or leave it. I know that last week we were all in a state of shock. We kept waiting for the movie to end. And we thought we'd wake up and this would all be over and it was just a bad dream. It's not. But what is happening is this new normal is starting to normalize. We're developing our new routines. We're developing our new strategies. You know, in my house this weekend, we're going to figure out how to balance my work schedule with my husband's work schedule and the kids' academic schedule. All of a sudden, we have to rejig. We've got to change. We have to pivot. My hours are going to change. My availability is going to change, but I'm still going to be there, because now more than ever is when people need my services. Now more than ever is when people need teaching and community and training and coaching to help them work through their feelings so they can get to where it is that they want to go. And in that, friends, I also have to find some time to take care of me. My morning walks, I just doubled the length. I have to keep my sanity. I've got to move my body and get outside and breathe fresh air. And there's not a lot of people out there at 6 or 7 in the morning. You have to be finding your new norm. And as we find our new norm, you're going to find that people are going to calm down and come out of that fight or flight section of their brain and start to make more strategic decisions. And so it could be that next week is when you start your messaging that's going to keep you relevant. That's what we're going to talk about tomorrow. It's maybe when you're going to start reaching out to your clients. But right now, if you're stuck in that paralysis, you've got to make a choice and give yourself a deadline. So if you're in total shock and paralysis and you can't make a move and you want to stay there, you go right ahead. I got you, and I'm going to give you a big hug. But if you don't want to stay there and you want to come out of the fog and you want to shift to action, then now's your time. Now's your time to make that choice and start slowly over this weekend. Tomorrow, I'm going to help you talk through your message to make you more relevant so that you can still be offering, because I said it once, I said it again, life is still happening. People still need you. They just need reminding that you're there and that you solve a problem for them. It's as simple as that. So let's make some choices over this weekend. Fuel your brain. Fuel it with news from the nucleus. Go right to the heart of the news sources. Feed it with some really good content. inspiring content, listen to some podcasts, listen to interviews, go and watch people who just fuel you up, go and binge watch the course that you never took that's sitting in your inbox. Go identify what it is that you need to get just a little bit stronger right now, and go and fuel your brain with that. Take the time to fuel your brain with really good food and move your body. Now's the time. You have the time. All of I hear it all the time, and it's my excuse too. Well, I don't have time to do meal preparation. Yeah, I got a lot of time to do meal preparation, and it's already paying off in spades. Our grocery bills are going down because we're prepared. We've got food ready. We eat what we have. We're not scrambling. Just slow it down. You might not be ready to see the silver lining in this crisis, and I get that. It might not be the time for you to shift into being proactive. I get that too. But if this is your time and you want to make this happen, then give yourself a deadline. I'm going to feel smaller. I'm going to step out until Saturday at 6 o'clock, Sunday at 9 a.m. I'm going to hit the ground running on Monday. That's it. Give yourself a deadline and permission to still feel scared, but also to feel hopeful. I think a lot of us are afraid to be feeling any positivity right now because all we're being fed is doom and gloom. And so let's fuel ourselves with some positivity and help spread it to others. What has this pandemic done so far to date? Number one, it's brought us right back to the heart of family. Number two, it's helping us prioritize our time in a big, bad way. Number three, it's minimizing consumerism and making us rethink our finances and come back to the basics. Number four, there are so many examples of good human activity going on. Of course, you can find the negative. Of course, there's scammers out there. Of course, there's people taking advantage of the system. You can feed yourself whatever you want, but go and look for the good, because there is good, and give yourself permission to step out of fear for a minute and feel hope and feel calm. Just breathe for a bit here and let's get ready. If you're ready and you want to choose to move your business forward, not do a reactionary short band-aid of making your feelings feel better, then join me tomorrow morning at 9:30 and let's shift you into action. If you know anybody who would benefit from this, this broadcast, I go live every single morning at 9:30. I'm going to start sharing it on other platforms. I'm waiting to be able to go live into LinkedIn. I've applied. I'm live on YouTube, live on Facebook. I'll be sharing little snippets out on Instagram. I'm here for you. Now's the time to reach out and ask for help. I got you. I have a team of coaches behind me that are just ready to serve. If you need us, reach out. We're here. We got you. So if you're ready to power up your business tomorrow, join me at 9:30 and I'll see you then. Have a great day, everybody.